everybody, Lazy Lima Life. Welcome to another poorly lit video here in the kitchen. Today we are going to do a bath scrubby. The thing I love about bath scrubs is you exfoliate and moisturize all at once. And in my bath scrub, I put a little bit of soap. So you cleanse, moisturize, and exfoliate. I use salt. I use brown sugar, the cheapest you can find in the grocery store. I'm putting a little of the Dr. Bronner's Castile soap, and this one is in hemp citrus. So since I have a citrus oil going into the scrub, I wanted to use a citrus soap. I'm using my old favorite, my old standby, rosehip oil, because it is so good for the skin. It's good for aging skin. Not that I have aging skin, but those of you that do. I'm using sweet orange essential oil, and I think I'm going to put a little drop of ylang ylang in there, just for kicks and giggles. I also put in a little of the Trader Joe's vitamin E oil, and most of it is going to be grapeseed oil. I'll probably put in a couple of drops of olive oil, not enough that I smell like a salad, but enough to give me the emollient properties. And then I'm also going to put in a very tiny bit of baking soda. Now, I don't really measure when I make this. The brown sugar also adds an element to the scent of it because it's, you know, kind of molassesy. You can kind of judge by your container. This is my container, the Talenti ice cream container. I'm going to add a good dose of salt. That was probably a quarter cup of salt. It's lightened up a bit. You can definitely see that it's not all brown sugar, but there's a little something extra in there. I'm going to add my half a teaspoon. I'm going to add a full teaspoon. This looks like more than what I usually make. So, full teaspoon of baking soda. This is optional. Nice. So I'm using the hemp citrus soap, and I'm just adding enough to get a little sudsy going. That was probably, I don't know, a tablespoonful. And each time I add a wet ingredient, it's like making pie dough. You just want to make sure that it's fully incorporated into the mix before you go on to the next element. So that's looking pretty nice. Let's get that bit off the spoon. So let's add a nice teaspoon or squirt spoon or whatever this is of rosehip oil. Now we're going to add the vitamin E. Sometimes I add, jojoba. It's getting a little wet. You can see that it's heavy, so I'm going to add a little more sugar. And always, if you get too much, you can always just put in another container. Eat more ice cream if you have to. You have my permission. And a little more salt. We no longer use this well, at least I don't. We no longer use this iodized salt for cooking. So it's nice to be able to have a purpose for it. Now this is sweet orange oil. Just smells so good. You can also use, I've also used tangerine. I'm putting about 30 drops. And again, I'm going to mix in. Now, ylang ylang is very expensive and very potent. This is a 0.17 ounce jar that I've got from Eden's Garden, I believe, on Amazon. I'll link to it below. It is very, very potent. I would put no more than 5 drops in here. The scent is where I want it. It'll get really nice over time. So I'm ready to add my oil. Going to add the rest of this grapeseed. So that was probably about, I don't know, 1/8 of a cup of oil, and you can already see that it's clumping up. And that's what I want. I'll add the rest of the oil when I've got it in here, so it's ready to start scooping in to our tin. I've seen a lot of people make these on YouTube, and they always are on Pinterest, and they're always putting them in a glass container. Glass in my shower and oil in my hands do not mix, so I always put it in a plastic container. That's my scrub. Smells like heaven. I'm going to add just enough olive oil, but not enough. The grapeseed is very neutral. Olive, not quite so neutral. And then we'll add a little more. And I like it so that it kind of clumps together, but not so much that it's just pure oil when I get into the shower. So we're all squared away with our showering, and we're gonna smell sweet and lovely. If you use this recipe and change the oil so you get a different scent, go ahead, let me know in the comments below.